My dad disowned my sister after she betrayed him. Now she will have to live with the shame forever, and nothing can be done about it. Hello Reddit Eyes Plus. When my family was whole, we were inseparable. My dad, mom, my twin sister Sarah, and our 4 brothers. We were close in the way only a tightly knit family could be. But all that changed in 2003 when my dad's life shattered. He discovered that my mom, his high school sweetheart, was having an affair with his childhood best friend, John, the man who had been his best man, practically a brother. That betrayal cut him deeper than any wound I've seen since. My dad begged her to stay, to save their family, but she chose John, and our family fractured. They divorced, and Mom remarried John 5 months later. My sister and I were only 10 then. We were the only kids still living at home, and we had to choose who we'd live with. Sarah, a classic daddy's girl, shocked us all by moving in with Mom and John. I stayed with Dad, visiting Mom occasionally, but Sarah's decision hurt him like a fresh betrayal. Every night, for nearly a year, I'd hear him crying himself to sleep, no matter how hard he tried to hide it from me. But even after the divorce, Dad's relationship with Sarah didn't falter immediately. In fact, he spoiled her more. Every recital, every game, every parent-teacher meeting. He was always there, like he was making up for her choice to leave him. Then one day, she told him she no longer wanted to follow in his footsteps to become a surgeon. She was dropping her med school dreams to become a lawyer. Just like Mom and John. Dad tried to hide it, but he was crushed. Over time, Sarah got closer to John, who mentored her, and eventually got her a job at his law firm. Dad was devastated but held his tongue, supporting her choices. Then came the breaking point. Sarah was getting married in 2017, and Dad, who absolutely loves weddings, gave her a blank check to make her dream wedding come true. He'd always dreamed of walking her down the aisle, a moment he mentioned at every wedding we attended. But the night before, Sarah told him that she wanted both him and John to walk her down the aisle. I could see the hurt and disbelief in his eyes, like he was breaking all over again. For the first time, Dad got truly angry, and when she refused to reconsider, he didn't attend the wedding. John walked her down the aisle, and Dad's relationship with her shattered. After that, Dad practically disowned Sarah, and though she tried to reach out, he refused to let her back in. We thought he'd soften when she had kids, but he couldn't bring himself to meet them. His pain ran too deep. Now Dad is terminally ill with pancreatic cancer. Time is running out. I've watched him wither, suffering in pain and holding on to his refusal to see Sarah one last time. I tried everything to convince him, but he wouldn't budge. He was determined to die without forgiving her, and I felt helpless, torn between his pain and her desperation to make things right. Update. A month after my original post. Sadly, there's no happy ending here. Just a month after I first shared our story, my dad passed away. His health declined fast, and his final days were agonizing. Watching him fade, in pain, yet somehow peaceful, was shattering. My brothers and I were there with him until the end, and he said goodbye to us, sharing words that will stay with me forever. The love and wisdom he left me with. He took the time to reflect on my childhood, my own kids, and what he hoped I'd carry forward. My daughters will never know him the way I did, but those memories will live on in me. But he never said goodbye to Sarah. When he died, she was wrecked. At his funeral, she saw him for the first time in years and barely recognized him. Cancer had left him frail, a shell of the man he was. When she broke down, I could see the weight of regret hitting her. Our mom and John tried to show up, but my uncles threw them out. Even in death, Dad's boundaries stood firm. Dad left us all a legacy, both financial and personal. In his will, he left each of us something to remember him by. Letters, handwritten notes on photographs, pieces of our past together. Each of my siblings got a letter, reflecting our unique bond with him. My album was filled with memories, each photo captioned with his thoughts and love. But Sarah's was different. Her album had no words, and she received no letter. When she discovered this, it broke her. She was hospitalized, overcome by the weight of her guilt and grief. She's slowly recovering, though each day brings new tears. Just last week, my wife and I learned we're expecting another child. The news brought a mix of joy and sorrow. I'm furious my child will never meet the man who taught me how to be a father. I'm terrified of raising them without his guidance. I'm supposed to be strong, but I feel lost without him here to lean on. This story didn't end the way I hoped. But that's the nature of life. It's messy, bitter, unfair. But even in the heartbreak, I'm holding on to my memories and his love, hoping to be the father he was for me.